Hello everybody, my name is Michael Alpin and I'm from the Indie Games Room. We're here with Philip Mays from Mighty Kingdom. We're at the beautiful CDW Studios in Adelaide. Philip Mays, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm quite good. Tell us a bit about Mighty Kingdom.
So Mighty Kingdom started back in about 2010. I come from like a traditional games development background. At that stage I was working at a company called Chrome Studios. And we've been working on a lot of projects, a lot of Star Wars games, Transformers games, things like that. And a lot of those projects take 18, 24 months to develop. I was getting a bit sick of working on such long projects where you get such a narrow role and, you know, ultimately being beholden to a publisher rather than to the quality of the game. And so at that stage the mobile devices had just started to sort of take off, the App Store was gaining prominence, and I looked at it and thought, there's an opportunity there to get back into what I really like, which is the short projects, sort of small time frames. We have much more control over the end product. And so a friend of mine and I, we decided to form Mighty Kingdom. Yeah. And initially we started as doing fee-for-service work for clients, but quickly I sort of decided that I would much rather make games for a living. So I studied in New Zealand at a school called Media Design School, and they specialise in doing programming and art courses for game developers. Yeah. And through that I met one of our lecturers, went on to get a job at Midway Games, and they ended up buying a company in Adelaide called Ratbag Games, and they renamed it Midway Games Australia. And he invited me to apply for a role there. Yeah. And so I was quite lucky. As a junior, you generally don't get relocated, but they flew me over to Adelaide, set me up, and got me a nice computer, a nice desk, and got me all kind of into the industry, and then they promptly shut down 2 months after I arrived. So which was kind of a bit of a shock, but as I would go on to find out, that's quite common in the game development industry. Yeah. Companies come and go pretty quickly.
Especially with so much risk involved.
Definitely, like, you know, the budgets of games were just getting higher and higher. You know, it had gone from being your garage industry with a couple of guys can get together, make a game, and make some money, to suddenly these tens of millions of dollar budgets. And yeah. The more money there is, the more risk there is, and so a lot of people are trying to minimise that risk. And so a lot of publishers, you know, they're kind of obsessed with the bullet points on the back of the box, you know, more so than the actual quality of the product. I mean, obviously they want to have a good product, but they have different goals than the game developer. The game developer wants to make something fun, exciting, innovative. When you say innovation to a publisher, they get a bit scared.
I'm Huey the Surf God. Well, actually I'm a crab.
The rise of the mobiles, iPads, iPhones, kind of flipped that whole model on its head. You could go back to having the garage programmers, one or two guys putting a game out. There's no barrier between you and your customer. There's you know, you don't have to ship a physical product. You can ship a digital release, which means you don't have to worry about manufacturing and all that sort of things. It's completely turned the industry on its head, and you're starting to see the fruits of that. Like, there's so much innovation in that space. Yeah. You look at a game like Ridiculous Fishing. Who's going to greenlight that? You know, who's going to put that on a console?
Well, you're certainly not a garage developer. You're a successful business, and you're bringing out quite a few games this year. You're enjoying the creativity of being an indie developer. So, what are you planning on bringing to the Indie Games Room this year?
Well, so this year, Mighty Kingdom is planning on releasing 10 games, and so we're just finishing up our 5th one. Yeah. And we've got 4 that have submitted and 1 that's released. So that over the next, towards the end of the year, there'll be one game released every year. For Indie Games Room, we'll be showing 2 in particular. One called Masteroid, which is a little bit like a Katamari Damacy crossed with, I don't know, what's a game where you cause mass destruction and annihilation?
Well, if you've been to the Indie Games Room last year, you might have seen Crab Shot.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Crab in space, and you destroy asteroids.
Continuing the space theme, now the asteroids are getting revenge. And the other one we're going to bring is called Tap Turn Racing. Yeah. So that's a driving game where you can only turn right. Yeah. The idea there is we've kind of reduced the amount of input required completely. A lot of people will say, hey, in NASCAR they only turn right. But,
yeah.
but they actually do go left a bit to correct. And this one is brutal. You
And-
make a mistake, you live with it.
Yeah, this is going to be a multiplayer game for the mobile platform.
Yeah, it's designed as like a 4-player party game for iPad.
Yeah.
So everyone sits around, they've got a little character in the corner, you get to choose your racer, and then off you go. You go round and around the track, get faster as you go, try and survive as long as you can. So yeah, hopefully it's as fun as we think it is.
So you're thinking of showcasing this on stage at AVCon this year?
Definitely. I think we might get a few people up there and have a bit of a competition and see how well people go. But yeah, definitely we'll have that at AVCon.
I look forward to it. I
So
hope
do
to
we.
see you there. Thank you, Phil Mace. We've been
trouble.
in the game show. See you later.